The Elder Scrolls franchise has had a myriad of half-baked and off-cancel spin-offs such as Oblivion on the Nokia phone and Oblivion on the PSP, and even Oblivion in space. And that's the one we're talking about today. That's right, at some point during Oblivion's development, there was discussions of making a game set in space, specifically on the moon Secunda. This whole concept was actually proposed by everybody's favorite Elder Scrolls writer / lunatic, Michael Kirkbride, known for such riveting tales in Morrowind like the time Vivek ate Molag Bal's penis, or that time Vivek turned Molag Bal's penis into a spear. There's a lot of penis-related stuff happening. Whether or not we would have seen that kind of thing in the Elder Scrolls spin-off, though, is unknown, as it didn't actually make it much farther than the suggestion box. Which makes sense, because why? I imagine the conversation went something like this. Hey, so what if we did Elder Scrolls in space? What? No, we're not doing that. Fine, but I'm still gonna write about it on my blog anyway. Not to mention, Bethesda was still reeling from the failed Legends and Adventure series, and then the barely viable Elder Scrolls Travel series, so the idea of doing another spin-off that would almost definitely turn into a financial failure was not a well-liked one. Actually, now that I think about it, that's almost definitely why the Oblivion PSP game was cancelled. You know, that and the fact that Sony had already abandoned support for the PSP halfway through the game's development. Fortunately though, Kirkbride did go on to add a tidbit of his ideas in the unofficial Pocket Guide to the Empire 2, which primarily just discusses why the Elder Scrolls Empire went to space in the first place, which turns out was for the same reason why real-life billionaires are desperate to go to space today. Because they're crazy people with literally nothing else that's unattainable. But just like everything Kirkbride writes, a lot of this is impenetrable nonsense. Like how the Emperor named the spaceship the NVN Manywife with interest, because he lost his wife's midwives and it made him real sad? What? Believe it or not though, some of this did actually break into actual Elder Scrolls canon, with the spacefarers who built and rode the spaceships to space, called the Manonauts, being mentioned in Elder Scrolls Online. I know, some of your heads are probably exploding at the idea of me saying that ESO is canon, but it is, so get over it. If you're okay with Arena and Daggerfall being the same universe, then literally anything should be fine. Like the real world could be set in Elder Scrolls at that point.
Take my sword.
He's dead! With one hand? No!
However, to add even more fuel to the fire for Elder Scrolls Online haters, the Manonauts were changed from going to space to instead going to Aetherius, the mystical plane where the gods live. Which makes sense, because like, space may or may not even be real in the TES universe, so you know, that would be weird. My personal take is that this game would have been really bad. For one, it would have been a spin-off and only one of those has ever been good, but also, the moon sucks. It's a big, gray, boring place with absolutely nothing going on. And if you don't believe me, then try and play Starfield, but you're not allowed to leave the moon. And tell me you're having a great time. Yeah, personally, no thanks. I think they made the right call in this one. If you want to hear more Elder Scrolls tidbits or listen to a very cynical and jaded man play beloved video games, then make sure to hit that subscribe button. Most of the stuff here is Elder Scrolls and fantasy related, but every now and again I lose my mind and sprinkle in some random shit that none of my viewers understand. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.